Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome to Thursday. It's day four of Watercolours this week, and something like week 15, something crazy like that. 15 or maybe week 16, a little bit mad. How you all doing? How has your evening been? What have you been up to since we last saw each other yesterday? Hopefully you've been doing lots of lovely creative things. As well as maybe getting outside. It's been a little bit grey and drizzly, really. I've actually shut the curtain today because I should try and keep the noise out, actually, more than anything. Everyone's been very noisy today. So how are you? I've been painting this morning. I had a one-to-one with somebody this morning, and we painted, just a bit of a Harry Potter fan, a bit like me, really. We painted the Goblet of Fire. Using watercolour pencils and then watercolour paint at the top. But can you notice that it's shiny? I'm a little bit in love with some new paints that I bought myself. Look at these! Aren't they pretty? They're all metallic watercolour paints. I'm so excited about using them. I can't wait. So I decided to use them on the top of my Goblet of Fire to show that shininess. The cats have gone mad as well. I don't know if you can hear that, but the cats are running around having a mad half hour. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing this morning. A little bit of one-to-one work. What else have I been doing? Lots of exciting things. Hi, Lynn. Oh, you've been painting with coffee. Excellent. Excellent. I'll have to have a look properly at those. Excellent stuff. Hi Sue, thank you very much. Thank you, liked my hair. I'm glad you've been enjoying doing these. That's great. Hi Vicky, Vicky's with us as well. Excellent. What else have I been doing? Oh, I've been doing a really, really exciting collaboration with Jam Packed Careers, they're called, or Jam Packed Careers Advice. Elaine, who works with them, is absolutely brilliant. It's her business, and she's just fantastic. I'm working actually not just with children, but with adults as well. My cats are going mental, I'm so sorry. But with children and with adults about advising them in kind of career pathways. So I've been doing some really exciting collaboration stuff with her. Because obviously all my work experience stuff had to be cancelled, which would have been next week, I think. I think next week would have been work experience week for the schools. So I've been working on some stuff. So look out for tonight. I think I'm gonna announce it tonight at 7 o'clock. Thanks Lynn, they're gorgeous, aren't they? Pretty metallic watercolours. I'm very excited about using those, can't wait. So today, hopefully you guys have got some watercolour paper. I'm using a small piece just because that's what I've got left over. I quite like doing this one on a smaller scale actually. I will be using a slightly smaller brush as I've got a smaller piece of paper. And hopefully you've got your paints with you, metallic or not. I won't use my metallic ones today. We'll just use the normal ones. And hopefully you've got a brush and a jar of water with you, which would be great. So we're going to be painting some thistles. So we've got some lovely kind of blues and purples in there. I'm actually going to mix up, believe it or not, a colour on my palette rather than just using the straight from the paints. We're going to use kind of a nice sort of watery technique really for these, which would be really nice actually. So let's get to it. I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you. Let's just crack on, I think. Oh, I have just seen that Cheryl has joined. Cheryl, I need to show you these. I know you're a fellow Harry Potter fan. This is what I was painting this morning. Very exciting. Right, let's drop you guys down, move the laptop out of the way, so that you can see everything that I'm up to. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start work on the 2 stems. So we're actually going to have 3 thistles. Just try saying that fast lots of times. 3 thistles, but we're going to start off with 2. So I'm just going to go for quite a watery green, just so we can kind of just mark out where these are going. Yeah, thanks, Cheryl. So I'm just going to put one there and maybe one going up here. Maybe a little, yeah, about that's fine. Okay, so I'm just literally doing this to kind of mark it out. So I'm going to hold that up in case that's too light that you can't see. So just marking out where those two stems are going to go. Okay, so then I'm just going to make them a bit thicker. And again, I'm just using that same kind of watered down green, just to give us a bit of an idea of where they're going. Maybe that thick. And I'm just going to start adding in some darker green just on one side, and this is a bit too emeraldy green for me, so I am actually going to add in some blue into there. And I'm kind of blending as I'm going actually on the page. I'm going to do the same to the other one. Just blend that blue into there. So this is, if you're doing this kind of technique where you're blending as you're going as such, then it's really important to have watercolour paper, because otherwise if you start kind of agitating the paper too much on normal paper or even cartridge paper, it will start to disintegrate, and then you start getting large flecks of paper in your paint. There we go, I'm a bit happier with that colour there. Hi Veronica, excellent, nice to have you. Cheryl, you got a bit of catching up to do. The caterpillar was gorgeous. So hopefully you guys can see that kind of colour there. And they've just kind of got it in a really nice, but it's kind of a turquoise, almost a turquoisey colour actually. But just adding that blue in there, I think really helps. So we then need the kind of the bulbous bit that's underneath the flower of the thistle. So again, I'm going to use similar kind of technique. So I'm just going to get a nice watery bit of the green. Oh, it just says watery, it's not. There we go, of the green. And just join it on there. And we want a fairly sizable bit there. And then maybe less so here. So we're kind of looking at a different angle. So a little bit less there. And then of course you've got two kind of leaves that come out of here. So I'm going to put one there, maybe one going up there. And then the same in the other one, we'll get one going up here. And then the other one coming out here. And then again, I'm just going to add in some of our different greens. Just dropping it into the other colour that I've got there. A more kind of sage green. Drop in the emerald green and then just add in some blue. Oh, wrong blue. There we go. Here we go. So really am mixing those colours on the page. Hi Angie! Oh, can't move that then. So what I'm going to do, just because I would really like the purple of the flower of the thistle to really blend with the stem and the bulbous bit here, I'm actually just going to add a little bit more blue up here. So I'm going to make it really blue, and I want to do this while it's still wet because I want it to spread. I want it to be able to blend in there to the green. And I'm actually going to add just some of the, I've got a nice purple here, If you haven't got a purple, then do mix one up. I will be mixing some of this up with a different colour anyway. So I'm just going to add some of that in the top there. There we go. Okay, while we're on the greens, I'm just going to add in a couple of leaves down here. So like the thistles themselves, the leaves are incredibly spiky. And they're also quite kind of thin, so they kind of come up almost like thinner holly leaves, is always how I imagine them. Maybe there we go. So again, just get that base colour, maybe a tad more water, just keep it nice and wet. And again, adding in those darker greens. And a little bit of the blue into this one as well. Making sure you got the right blue. Here we go. Yeah, it does. Angie's just said the blue makes the green pop. Yeah, it does. It really kind of brings it out. I love seeing how colour changes everything. It can change everything that you're seeing. Very important. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry there. I was going to add another one here, but I think I might just keep it with that one for now. So, hoping that that's not too wet. Oh, I can't pick it up. There we go. I'm going to try and attempt to pick that up so that you guys can see those colours. Okay, so let's go for it with the flowers. So what I'm going to do is get a really nice watery, so you can see, hopefully, let me pull this in so you can see it. So I've got in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one I made earlier. It's a slight purple that was left there, but I am just going to get a little bit more purple onto my brush so I can really get that pigment going in there, and a little bit of blue in there as well, so I want this one quite blue, quite a deep purple. There we go. And it's quite watery. Okay, so there is a reason for that. There is method behind my madness, I promise. And then what I'm going to do is just flick away. Make it come quite round, I think, on that one. I'm not going to go any higher than that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same to the other one, but the other one I think is probably more full. Feels to me like you'd be able to see more of it at the angle that it's at. There we go. So you can see that there's lots of gaps there. I haven't kind of covered the whole thing. It's just that one colour. Hopefully you can just about see that. I might bring that around a little bit more actually. Woo. Okay, so then I'm going to add a little bit more purple into this mix. So we get it a little bit pinker. And again, I'm just going to carry on going over the top. So I'm just going to pick out some more. Now, if you wanted to, you could add some splatters into here as well. So if you particularly like that style, you can definitely add some kind of splatters around. I might do it to this one. There we go. Works quite well with this kind of painting, I think, personally. Don't have to, as I say, this is your painting. You decide what's going on here. Okay, and then I'm actually gonna make it really blue. So it's got a little bit of a hint of the purple in, but it's really blue. And I'm just gonna add a couple of the really blue ones in, not too many because they are quite dark. You just flick in with the very tip of the brush. And again, I might add some splatters. Oh, that was a nice splatter with some of that one as well. It's a nice colour actually. There we go. So let me bring that in so that you guys can see it. Okay. So hopefully our big bulbous bits are kind of a little bit more dry now, because what you can do is bring in some more of that purple and just add in some of that on top of there. Oh, maybe not that dark. There we go. Just as a kind of couple of dots round. So you're not being too precious with it, but it just adds a little bit of texture to that bulbous area going on there. Now if you wanted to, you could add a third one. So normally when I do this one, I do add a third one. So I'm just going to very quickly add one up here. This is going to be a little one that hasn't quite reached its full potential yet. So again, add in the darker green. Let the water do the blending for you. Ooh. Add in a little bit of the blue, especially at the top there. And then kind of blend some with that green coming across as well. Just a drop of water in there just to help it blend. I'm not happy with this one. Just add a touch more green in there, I feel. A little bit turquoisey. So what I'm going to do is just add tiny little tufts of our purple going on there, but I might just let that dry just a little bit. And bring this down to here. So if you wanted to, you could put another leaf in here as well. I might just keep it to the one today. But as this leaf has just dried a little bit, what I'm going to do is just take some of the green and just mix it up slightly. So it's a little bit more of an earthy green. There we go, that's better. And then what I'm going to do is just use it to draw that kind of centre line going up that leaf. And again, just to add a few kind of blotches here and there, just to bring the colour together. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to let that one completely and fully dry before I put the purple tufts on. But it's exactly the same as these, but I will probably only do, let me try and do one hopefully without smudging it. But they'll probably only go up to there. So I'll keep it quite small, but I am going to wait for that to dry before I do any more to it. Okay, lift that, hopefully without letting it run too far. And there you have it. You got the 3 thistles, nearly complete. Just need the smaller one needs a little bit more attention once he's dry. And you got that really nice blend of all of those colours as well, and the reflection of the purple and the blue in both the flower and the stems going down there as well. Ah, thank you very much, Veronica. Oh, and Cheryl, you like the splatters. Splatters never go where you need them. Oh, that's practice, that is. You definitely have to practice where you're flicking your paintbrush, I can tell you. So when I splatter, that sounds like a very weird sounds like a very weird word. Anyway, when I splatter, I tend to do it quite near the tip and I hit my finger that way. So that way I get a little bit more control over it. So if it's kind of tapped like that, a little bit more control. But yeah, you'll never get it completely and exactly where you want them. I love it. Ah, thank you guys. I'm glad you liked this one. I just thought it was a really nice kind of pretty one. And as you can tell, I'm feeling very blue today. So I thought blues and purples were the way to go. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, which would be great. Oh, I do have something else to show you. Where did I put it? Haha! My dot book has arrived for next week. So next week we're doing bullet journals. So this is what I meant by dot paper. It literally has dots on it. Which reminds me of that game that you used to play. You know, there was two of you and you used to join up the dots in order to put, I think you had, did you have to put your initial in it? I'm sure you had to put your initial in it to see how many boxes basically you won. I seem to remember playing that a lot as a child. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, tomorrow. So tomorrow you'll need preferably watercolour paper, your watercolour paints, brush. It can be any size brush actually tomorrow, it doesn't matter. And water jar. What else do you need? Oh, and tomorrow you will need a white crayon or a white oil pastel, depending on what you've got to hand. So make sure you bring one of those as well. I will pop it in the comments. Thank you so much to those people who have already left me reviews and recommendations and things on our Facebook page and on Google. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much, because it really, really does help, especially when we start to reopen at the beginning of August. It helps massively. Thank you for joining me. I will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I'll pop the details if anyone would like to donate to Arty Farty Retreat. I'll pop the details below. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing your thistles. See you tomorrow.